All right, today we're talking about a massive corporate comeback story. We're diving deep into how Carnival Corporation, yeah, the biggest player in the cruise world, sailed through some really tough times to post a year that was, well, nothing short of record-breaking. It's a story packed with smart strategy, huge demand, and some truly mind-blowing numbers.
If you follow the travel industry at all, you know Carnival is an absolute titan. We're talking Princess, Holland America, Cunard, the list goes on. And based on their 2025 results, they're not just treading water, they are absolutely flying. So let's get right into it.
Let's just kick things off with the headline number, shall we? For the full year 2025, Carnival reported a record-adjusted net income of $3.1 billion. Now, that is a huge figure all by itself, but honestly, it's the growth behind that number that really tells you everything.
That's right, over 60%. Their adjusted net income shot up by more than 60% compared to the year before. I mean, that's just an incredible burst of profitability and a sign of real operational strength. It blew away what a lot of the experts were expecting.
And here it is. This is the signal that really cements the whole turnaround. Carnival has brought back its dividend. For investors, this is a massive vote of confidence from the company, saying, hey, we're healthy, we're stable, and we're ready to share the profits again.
So let's pull back the lens a little and look at the full picture of these achievements. Because this wasn't just one or two things going right. It was a tidal wave of success across their entire business.
I mean, don't just take it from me. The CEO, Josh Weinstein, he called the year truly phenomenal. And when you dig into the data, you can see why. He hits all the key points. New records everywhere, a much healthier balance sheet, and of course, bringing back that all-important dividend.
Okay, let's really unpack this, because the records just kept on falling. First up, revenue, a record $26.6 billion. That led to a record $4.5 billion in operating income. Then you've got adjusted EBITDA, which is a really key measure of profit. That hit an incredible $7.2 billion. And they did all of this while welcoming a whopping 13.6 million passengers on board their ships. Just incredible.
So these numbers are amazing, no doubt about it. But the real question is, how in the world did they pull this off? This wasn't just about packing more people onto ships, it was about running a smarter, leaner, and way more profitable business.
This table shows the secret sauce. They weren't just meeting their goals, they were smashing them. Just look at the fourth quarter. They told investors to expect net yields to grow 4.3%, but they actually delivered 5.4%. They warned that costs might go up by over 3%, but they kept that increase to just 0.5%. See what's happening? More money coming in, less money going out. That's the combo that led to that huge beat on their profits.
And this chart right here, this just puts it all in perspective. That core profitability metric, adjusted EBITDA, made a huge leap from $6.1 billion to $7.2 billion. In 1 year, that's over $1 billion in extra profit, which just screams operational excellence.
Now, I've said net yields a few times, and it's super important, so let's quickly define it. Think of it like this. It's basically how much money the company makes from each guest every single day after you take out some key costs. So yeah, higher is definitely better. When you see net yields climbing, it means they're getting more money from every single person on that ship.
But look, financials are only one piece of the puzzle. The engine that powers this entire comeback is, of course, the customer. People are dying to go on cruises again, and they are absolutely willing to pay up for the experience. The CEO says it all right here. For the year ahead, they have more rooms booked than ever before in their history. And, this is the key part, they're doing it at record high prices. This isn't a story about selling cheap tickets to fill ships. This is pure, powerful demand.
And if you want cold hard proof of that future demand, here you go. At the end of the year, Carnival was sitting on $7.2 billion in customer deposits. That's another record. And what that really is, it's future revenue that's already in the bank, just waiting for people to pack their bags.
And this chart shows that this isn't just an American thing. The demand is absolutely global. Sure, the US is the biggest piece of the pie at 56%, but you've got strong demand coming from the UK, Germany, and all across Europe. This is a worldwide recovery story for cruising. So we've got this massive wave of customer demand. But this incredible performance wasn't just a case of a rising tide lifting all ships. It was also powered by some really smart, deliberate moves the company made to get its own financial house in order. A huge part of their strategy was all about debt. Since their debt peaked just a few years ago, Carnival has paid down over $10 billion of it. I mean, that is a monumental effort to strengthen their balance sheet and get themselves on solid ground.
And paying down all that debt led them to this huge milestone, achieving investment-grade leverage. For a company, this is basically like getting an 800 credit score. It's the big rating agencies saying, these guys are financially stable, they're low risk, and it makes it way cheaper and easier for them to borrow money in the future.
And looking forward, they're not done making things better. They're actually planning to simplify their whole corporate structure. Right now it's kind of complex, but they want to move to a single company, listed only on the New York Stock Exchange. The goal here is to make things cleaner, cut costs, and make it easier for big investors to buy their stock.
So after a historic 2025, you have to ask, what's next? Well, if you listen to the company's own forecast, it sounds like this ship has a lot more momentum.
Yeah, the outlook for 2026 looks incredibly bright. They're predicting another record year, with profits growing another 12% or so to $3.5 billion. They expect to keep pushing those net yields higher, and bookings for the year are, you guessed it, already at record levels and record prices. It really seems like the good times are set to continue.
And that kind of brings us to the big picture here. Carnival's amazing year is, at its heart, a huge bet on our collective desire to travel, to have experiences, to just escape. And it makes you wonder, is this a sign of what's to come for the entire travel industry? Are we in for a sustained boom powered by our need for a vacation? It's something to think about.